Surgeons open his abdomen and extract a calcified mass of undigested waste and trapped medication. The removal of the bezoar stops the internal poisoning. Brendan survives, but the physical reality of his survival is more grotesque than any of his distorted paintings. A woman travels to China to confront the biological parents who abandoned her. They look at her face and deny her existence, stating they have no daughter. She leaves the house and enters a local temple to pray. She stands before a bronze Buddha and attempts to lift it as part of a ritual. Suddenly, her motor functions fail. She collapses, coughing up blood as her internal systems shut down. Thousands of miles away, Dr. House monitors the case via a remote link. The local medical team suspects a mass in her pancreas and moves her into an MRI suite. As the machine generates a massive electromagnetic field, the patient's condition turns fatal. She suffers a violent neurological seizure inside the scanner. House orders the team to abort the procedure and demands an immediate X-ray of her skull. The imaging reveals the physical evidence of a crime committed 25 years ago. 3 long steel pins are embedded deep within her brain tissue. When she was an infant, her parents attempted a silent execution. To bypass the one-child policy and try for a son, they drove the needles through the soft fontanelle of her newborn skull. They expected her to die as the bone fused, leaving no external scars. The pins remained dormant for 2 decades, missing her vital centers by millimeters. The Buddha statue at the temple was rigged with a powerful hidden magnet. When she leaned in, the magnet pulled the steel. The MRI finished the movement, dragging the pins into her nervous system. She didn't find a family. She found the weapons they used to try and kill her. House identifies a lie when Wilson describes a breakfast meeting at a diner but fails to mention his usual order. House immediately hires a private investigator to establish 2 4-hour surveillance on Wilson. The investigator tracks Wilson's movements and monitors his bank records. Wilson discovers the surveillance and initiates a countermove. He describes a relationship with a former prostitute named Debbie, claiming he is paying her law school tuition. House reviews the investigator's reports and listens to Wilson's detailed accounts of financial sacrifice. The deception succeeds until House inspects the wooden frame of his office door. He finds a circular indentation. It is the mark of a cane. House realizes Wilson has been standing in the hallway, eavesdropping on every meeting between House and the investigator. The prostitute's story is a fabrication intended to mock House's paranoia. House maintains the surveillance and follows Wilson to a department store. He expects to find the mystery woman. Instead, he enters a baby boutique and finds Dr. Cuddy. She is surrounded by cribs and infant clothing. Cuddy reveals she is finalizing a secret adoption. Wilson has been lying to protect her privacy. He is not a lover, he is her official character reference for the adoption agency. The morning absences were for legal interviews, not secret dates. House stands in the store and watches Cuddy prepare for a child. He realizes his investigation has uncovered a truth he cannot exploit. The game ends in the nursery. A nurse collapses in a clinic room, suffering a violent seizure and discharging green urine. Dr. House takes the case, but the patient offers a superstitious explanation. She believes in Debbie, a cat from her nursing home that reportedly predicts death by sleeping next to those about to die. The death cat theory creates a wave of unease throughout the hospital, but House looks for a physical catalyst. He first suspects the nurse is manufacturing her symptoms to gain attention. To prove this, he performs a methacholine challenge. He forces her to inhale a substance that triggers a bronchial spasm. If she is faking, her breathing will remain normal. Instead, her airway constricts, confirming a genuine medical crisis. House then deploys a pill cam, a wireless capsule designed to photograph the blind spots of the small intestine. He searches for a hidden tumor, while the rest of the staff remains distracted by the cat's presence. House eventually observes the cat's behavior and dismantles the myth. The animal does not sense death, it senses heat. It sleeps next to patients who are febrile or using electric heating blankets. This logic provides the final clue. The nurse has been using a heating blanket to combat chills caused by an underlying illness. House realizes the pill cam missed the appendix. He orders a targeted examination and locates a rare carcinoid tumor hidden in the organ. By stripping away the supernatural narrative, House replaces a death sentence with a surgical solution. Lee's heart stops. The medical team shocks his chest twice before his pulse returns. Every treatment for brain damage fails. The top specialists conclude that Lee will remain a wooden man forever. Lee is paralyzed, fully conscious but unable to move or speak. House enters the room and sets up a brain-computer interface. He begins a cold interrogation, watching the cursor on the monitor. He asks Lee if he feels any discomfort. The cursor moves to yes. House narrows the location down to Lee's right foot. It is itching. The other doctors dismiss the symptom as irrelevant. House connects the itch to liver failure. He realizes the liver has already collapsed so completely that it no longer produces the enzymes standard tests look for. He tracks Lee's history to a basement where he worked as a laborer. Basements have rats. House finds a tiny infected paper cut next to Lee's fingernail. Rat urine entered this wound, introducing leptospirosis. The bacteria destroyed the liver, releasing toxins that cause locked-in syndrome. The team begins the targeted antibiotic treatment. House stands over the bed and commands Lee to move. The room is silent. Lee's hand remains motionless on the bedsheet. House tells him to try harder. Lee's index finger twitches, then lifts. The paralysis is breaking. A lethal infection from a basement floor almost killed him, but a single itch on his toe provided the truth. House walks out of the room as Lee regains control of his body. Lee lies on a hospital bed, paralyzed after a car accident. His body is unresponsive, but his consciousness is fully intact. He listens as the organ transplant team prepares to harvest his kidneys. The surgeons have already declared him brain dead. They see a donor. Lee sees his own execution. Dr. Gregory House enters and halts the procedure. He ignores the official charts and focuses on Lee's eyes. House detects a subtle tremor in the pupils, a sign of life the other doctors dismissed as a reflex. House leans over the bed and issues a challenge. He asks Lee for the square root of 9. Lee blinks 3 times. The math is correct. The surgery is stopped. The medical team identifies the condition as locked-in syndrome. Lee is awake, but trapped in a motionless shell. House introduces a brain-computer interface to restore his communication. Technicians attach electrodes to Lee's scalp, linking his neural activity to a computer monitor. A cursor sits in the center of the screen. Lee must move it using only his thoughts. For hours, the screen remains static. The team begins to doubt the earlier blink test. Then, the cursor twitches. It slides upward across the grid, responding to Lee's mental effort. His wife watches the screen and realizes her husband is still there. Through a digital cursor, a man categorized as a corpse proves his existence to the world. He is no longer an object for harvest. He is a patient with a voice. Dr. Kuttner is found dead on his apartment floor with a single gunshot wound to the temple. The police and the medical team conclude it is an undeniable suicide. Dr. House refuses to accept this reality. For House, a missed suicide is a diagnostic failure he cannot tolerate. He transforms the tragedy into a murder investigation to protect his own logic. He starts by dissecting Kuttner's personal life, focusing on his adoptive parents. House confronts them with the fact that their son changed his name from Lawrence Chowdhury to Lawrence Kuttner, suggesting a deep identity crisis. He orders a hormone panel on the remains, searching for chemical evidence of a physiological struggle or an external threat that would contradict a self-inflicted act. He breaks into Kuttner's computer, searching through encrypted files and search histories for a hidden enemy. House argues that Kuttner was a man of passions, someone who spent months tracking down rare collectibles, and such a person does not simply quit life. He presents a theory of a calculated killing, staged to look like self-destruction. However, his team sees the truth. There is no murderer. House is not looking for justice. He is looking for a mistake that isn't his. He realizes that every piece of evidence he gathered actually points back to a man who hid his suffering behind a perfect mask. The investigation